you worked with the legendary Uma Thurman in Beautiful Girls, and
I was tripping off of her.
Like, what could you feel? I mean, obviously it was like way after Pulp Fiction.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that much after Pulp Fiction. It was like, I don't know what year we did. What year did Pulp Fiction come out? Fact check that.
Pulp Fiction was 94.
And what year did Beautiful Girls come out?
And Beautiful Girls was 90. Oh yeah, you're right, 96.
Let me tell you something. Everybody was tripping off of Uma Thurman. Everybody was bugging off of her because of, number one, she's Uma Thurman, but number two, she was coming off of Pulp Fiction. And I had, scenes with her, and I had scenes where like I'm trying to pick her up and I'm dancing with her. And Uma Thurman in real life is like a gorgeous, beautiful giraffe. She's like some kind of exotic, gorgeous, like maybe giraffe. I mean, because she's so tall, her hands are big, her feet are big. She's drop dead stunning. She's like 6 feet tall. Beautiful. I mean, she got these big ass eyes, big ass lips, long arms, and just the fact that she's just a beautiful person physically. She's funny, she's self-effacing, but she was just coming off of Pulp Fiction. Everybody in the cast was tripping. Everybody in the crew was tripping. I was tripping out doing those scenes with her. I was nervous. I was excited. I was amped up. And I was amped up doing that entire movie. I was amped up working with Matt Dillon. I was amped up working with Martha Plimpton. I was amped up working with Timothy Hutton. I was amped up, I never had scenes with Rosie O'Donnell, but she was there. My man Max Perlich. Natalie Portman was just off of The Professional, and me and her were like bonding. Even though she was young, she's always like been like, had a sort of, like she seemed like an older person. The late great Ted Demme. We had fun making that movie. That's one of the best experiences I ever had making a movie, was the actual shooting of that movie, at the actual time in Minnesota, and the whole experience. But those scenes I had with Uma Thurman, I was tripping the out because I was like, holy shit, I am with a movie star who I love, who I respect, who's gorgeous, who's cool. And I have scenes with her where I'm like, doing my thing with her. And it was sick working with Uma Thurman on Beautiful Girls. It was sick. It was exciting. It was everything you would want it to be.
That's what I wanted to know. I was wondering if you could feel that like star power and charisma and charm around her when you're with her.
All of it. You're trying to keep your cool. All of it. I was bugging off Uma Thurman. Like, I was tripping off of her way more than I let on. One of the more tripping off of an actor experiences that I've had, of course, tripping off of people like De Niro, Christopher Walken, and Stallone. But Uma Thurman, working with her, especially at that time, especially at the age I was at, and especially post Pulp Fiction, which was such a big pop culture film. Like, I don't know if really understand, because movies have changed, and the importance and the excitement of a movie, and the importance and the excitement of a Quentin Tarantino movie at that time. That was that his second film? Was it Reservoir Dogs and then Pulp Fiction?
Let me see, actually, because
it was.
Yeah, Reservoir Dogs was 92.
So it was Reservoir Dogs. He had written True Romance. Mm-hmm. He had written Natural Born Killers. And the excitement, the hype on Pulp Fiction. And I mean, I remember reading that script. I auditioned to be in Pulp Fiction. I auditioned to be one of the what kind of burger is it? Motherfucker. I said, blah, 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 blah. I had auditioned for one of those parts.
That's crazy.
And with Quentin Tarantino, obviously I didn't get it. But reading that script, it was so good. And then when you heard like, oh, Bruce Willis, and then you heard like John Travolta, and I remember being in Hollywood getting my hair cut on La Brea and seeing them film. They were gonna shoot one of the scenes where they were in the car, and I remember going across the street saying what's up to Quentin Tarantino quickly, because I had met him at the Sundance Film Festival in '92, and seeing John Travolta in the wig, seeing Samuel Jackson in the wig, seeing them in their suits. And you know, just like I remember like seeing it, but just having read the script and the excitement of it. And I mean, then what it turned out to be was so good and so unique and so original. And I remember going to see the movie with Kevin Corrigan and my man Paulie Schultz and a few other people in New York City at the movie theater on 3rd Avenue and I think 60th Street or 59th Street. And it lived up to all the expectations. And then having the honor of being in Beautiful Girls and the excitement of working with Matt Dillon, who I grew up loving. Matt Dillon was that dude. Of course, he's made it to my Stickman Hall of Fame easily. First ballot Hall of Famer in the Stickman Hall of Fame. And just such a iconic star. And to be with all those people, it was such a great time. But it was every single thing. It was every single thing that you would hope it to be. The on-set experience and the off-set experience filming in Minnesota was a dope time.
Did you know after reading Pulp Fiction, like after
Everybody
you read
knew.
it, were you like, this is going to be a huge movie?
You knew it was going to be a huge movie. Obviously, you didn't know it was going to be like. You could never expect something to be as huge as that.
Yeah.
And as iconic as that. But you knew the script was dope. And everybody, you know, again, this was at the time there was no email, so you had the physical copy of the script. And, you know, like, you remember, like, you'd let your friend read it and, you know, be like, oh, I read it and, you know,
yeah.
I auditioned for this and, oh, I met the casting director for that. And, you know, like, it was exciting, man. It was exciting. And it was just a face-to-face audition. There was no Zoom auditions. There was no videotape auditions. Like, you either read for the casting director, you read for Lawrence Bender, one of his producers, or, you know, in my case, I got to read for Quentin Tarantino. And, you know, that's one of those things where you read and you're disappointed that you don't get it, but you're like, just the fact that you got to be in there at that time, at 24, 25 years old, after coming off of Reservoir Dogs and reading that script and hearing, like, you know, John Travolta's going to be in it, Samuel Jackson's going to be in it, and, you know, Bruce Willis is going to be in it, and, like, to go to read, just to read for him was good enough. It was sick. And then that movie turned out to be everything in a bag of chips. It's stupid. That movie is so good. And to have that same energy a year later to get cast in Beautiful Girls with Uma, 2 years later with Uma Thurman, who destroyed Pulp Fiction, it was sick. It was a sick, dope, exciting time to be, you know, a young actor.